The global outbreak of coronavirus has raised concerns regarding the impact on regional and national food supply chains. Although COVID-19 is a health issue, its effects are being felt in other sectors of the economy such as security, business, food supply and livelihoods. The agricultural sector has been negatively affected in the key areas of food production and the supply chain for nutrient-rich foods. Deteriorating diets lead to poor nutrition, which in turn weakens the immune system and can jeopardize the body's ability to fight a COVID-19 infection. In response, the government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperatives, has developed measures to keep the agricultural sector and supply chain running smoothly. The Agri-Nutrition Department of the ministry has been working closely with the Ministry of Health and other stakeholders to sensitize Kenyans on the integral role of nutrition in the fight against the pandemic. This is being done through the 1 Million Kitchen Gardens project that targets 1 million vulnerable households in rural and urban areas.
So we are here today at the Ministry of Agriculture, Kilimo House, where we have the model kitchen garden demonstration site, where we set up all the technologies that all households are able to adapt to be able to give them not only knowledge, but also be able to, give them the instructions, step-by-step guidance on how to set up these gardens.
The ministry is promoting simple, space and water-efficient kitchen garden technologies such as the cone garden, the multi-story garden, the micro garden, the tire garden, the moist bed garden, the weak irrigation garden, and the simple drip irrigation garden. This project has been engaging schools across Kenya to increase nutrition and health knowledge among students. Several school gardens have already been established, such as at Olympic Secondary School in Kibra.
Here in the school, the students are learning about agriculture through this farming, and we have what we call 4K crop, and some students are doing agriculture as their exam in the Form 4s.
Olympic Secondary School also acts as a demonstration site for the surrounding community.
With the scarcity of the space in Kibra, the surrounding people or the community from the Kibra, they come here in the school. We show them they are taught how they can use a smaller space to get something to eat.
Adrian Odhiambo, a Form 1 student at Olympic Secondary School, has greatly benefited from this initiative. He has not only learned how to grow vegetables, but also earns a few coins from working at the school's kitchen garden. Despite schools having closed down due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Adrian has been busy growing vegetables, fruits and spices.
Niliamua na hii corona siwezi kaa nyumbani tunakaa natembea tu. Kwa na hii kazi ndio nasoma nafanya kazi hapa, hata kama nimelipo kidogo, naona hiyo vitabu na andika notes. My friends are just making a call for me. Nende nicheze game. Nilisema game, there is time for playing and time for keeping busy.
Adrian is calling on other young people to take interest in agriculture.
Wasidharau hii kazi sana. Hii kazi ni nzuri. Hata nyumbani nilikuwa nimeweka kuku, niko na kuku shamba. Hizo saa hii wananipigia masukuma zile mboga ziko kubwa wanauza.
The Ministry of Agriculture has helped us because I've got a more knowledge of which I've taken to our country in my Kisi land. So it is through the Ministry of Agriculture which gave me the knowledge, and the knowledge I saw it better to take it to our country.
Food insecurity is not only impacted by the quantity of food but also the quality of food. Through kitchen gardening, one is able to grow organic food that is free from synthetic chemicals or preservatives. Sylvia, a resident of Ndeya, has been producing organic food for her family and also sells the surplus to her friends in the city.
What drove me to actually start farming was my children. I wanted to be able to grow safe, nutritious food for them. So I started on half an acre and I started growing all the food that we're eating at home. And what had happened was that I told myself, I'll never go to the market again. If I have half an acre, I can grow all the food that I require for my home. But I found on half an acre, I actually had more than enough. And that's when I decided to start a business. And the business is called Sylvia's Basket. And I was selling food to my friends. Once a week, I would go around the farm and just pick the excesses of what I had, put it in baskets and take it to my friends in the city.
Simon Bogwa, a resident of Kitengela in Kajiado County, is also growing organic food using the hydroponic system of farming.
We started now growing some hydroponic vegetables just for our own consumption. So we started with spinach, lettuce, collard greens, kales, coriander. Then we went into tomatoes, we went into strawberries. So as you can see behind me now is our kitchen garden here in Kitengela. This area is semi-arid. Water is scarce and it's not a luxury. So the little water that you get will be saline. Mostly it will be quite saline, salty, and also it is in short supply.
Hydroponic systems use nutrient-enriched water instead of soil. Thus, there are few problems with pests, weeds, and soil-borne diseases.
We decided to do it within the compound so that we could keep ourselves busy, watch them grow, and also have a traceable source of food. It's not grown using sewage water or water that is not clean.
The only guarantee that we can give our population on food safety is only being able to grow your own food. That is the only sure guaranteed way of you're eating the right food, the safe food, and not only safe food but also food that you've seen the processes of how it has been grown. You know the sources of your water and such kind of a production guidance.
To improve diets, the State Department for Livestock is promoting the rearing of small livestock on small spaces in rural and peri-urban areas. Poultry, rabbits, and small ruminants such as goats and sheep can significantly contribute to dietary diversity and nutritional outcomes through home consumption and income generation. Children and the youth also enjoy being involved in the raising of small livestock enterprises and serve as a learning point for them.
Kitchen garden, most people tend to imagine that it's only vegetables. Kitchen garden is not complete if it doesn't have any livestock or even other small fruit tree here and there. So the ideal animals in the kitchen garden are the small animals, where we have the dairy goat, we have the chicken, indigenous, or you can even have a few layers or broilers. We also have the dairy goat and the rabbits. They give birth very fast. They don't require a lot, and you can even feed them from just what you have on your farm. Farm residues, even kitchen waste can feed chicken, and you get your eggs and the eggs, the milk, and the meat.
Rabbits are a great source of highly nutritious white meat. They require minimal investment and space. Other important products from rabbits include fertilizer from urine and droppings. Rabbit urine contains nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium needed for healthy crop growth.
We have the National Rabbit Breeding and Training Institute in Ngong that we are using it for breeding the rabbits that we supply to farmers. We also have other 4 stations that multiply the rabbits. We have one in Kimose, which is in Baringo County. We have another one in Meru, in Marimba Farm. Then we have another one in Matuga, in Kwale County, and these are our stations that we are multiplying the rabbits to supply to the farmers. We also import rabbits to beef up our breeding materials to improve and minimize inbreeding in the country.
The ministry is working together with the National Rabbit Breeding and Training Institute in Ngong to promote the production of rabbits and provision of rabbit production information to interested farmers.
Over the years of the research, we have been able to come up with 6 kind of rabbit that can be used for commercial rabbit rearing. And these are namely New Zealand white, Chinchilla, California white, Flemish giant, checkered giant, and the Dutch breeds. Those are the rabbit breeds that we keep around and that have been researched and found to be commercially viable to be used by our farmers.
David Mwangi is one of the farmers who have embraced this initiative after receiving training on rabbit production.
I went for training. First of all, I had the National Rabbit and Training Center do offer trainings every so often in a year. So I registered for one in December 2018. We went there for 3 days, so I saw how they make their cages. And you will see back there, I have some 22 cages that were metallic that I started with. So when it comes to rabbit, I say it's a scale-insensitive business, which I would encourage anyone to do.
I came to know about rabbit farming, which I really appreciate. I can practice my nursing and come back and feed the rabbits. It's only 1 hour for all these cages, even less than an hour for us to feed them. The white rabbits, they got so sweet meat. And the bone to meat ratio, it has a lot of meat than the bones.
Dairy goat rearing is very beneficial for households. A goat is a renewable provider of milk, manure and fiber, and also provides meat and hide. Dairy goats are bred for milk production, and more people are turning to goat milk due to increased awareness of its qualities. Bernard Karari, who is a resident of Kayole, is a dairy goat farmer. Despite having a small space, he has managed to keep at least 3 dairy goats that provide him with nutritious milk for home consumption and for sale.
I decided to get into do the dairy goat farming here as a source of income, as a side hustle. I'm a community health assistant, and after doing a research, I decided to cash on the demand for goat milk in particular. It's in great demand. After talking to other dairy goat farmers, they recommended the Alpine, German Alpine, which is a good producer of milk.
Joyce Wanjiko, or Mama Jimmy, is also a happy dairy goat farmer. Her family enjoys a daily supply of fresh, nutritious goat milk.
Nilionelea ikiwa kitu mzuri sana, juu ukiwa huku nyumbani hauna shamba. Sasa nikaonelea kwamba juu mimi ni mfanyikazi wa biashara ya hii sukuma ya soko, hiyo majani yenye natumia na iletea. Juu hiyo busi si haikuli chakula mingi.
Rearing of chicken is highly suitable for vulnerable households. Products from chicken improve nutrition security by providing high-quality animal protein in form of eggs and meat. The State Department of Livestock is therefore enhancing the supply of day-old and month-old improved kienyeji chicks to farmers.
Caro is doing the breeding of the improved indigenous chicken, and the ministry is establishing 2 hatcheries. One is almost complete in Marimanti, that is Tharaka Nithi County. Very soon we are going to start production of day-old chicks, which we are going to sell to the farmers to increase the production.
Joseph Kamau is a kienyeji chicken farmer. After retiring from the University of Nairobi 10 years ago, he managed to acquire a small piece of land in Ngong town on which he rears kienyeji chicken for home consumption and for sale.
Kwangu mimi nina bahati, nina pahali kidogo nimefungia kuku wangu, na sio kidogo vile, naweza kuextend ndio, sababu nina hiyo idea ya kuzimultiply. Ukiweza kama mkulima uweze kubreed zako inakuwa na manufaa ama unakuwa na faida.
Although COVID-19 does not affect fish, the fisheries sector has been subject to indirect impacts of the pandemic. To enhance food security and nutrition, the State Department for Fisheries, Aquaculture and Blue Economy is promoting the aquaponics technology to ensure there's a steady supply of fish.
You'll find that these kind of innovations, where we have the simple technology such as aquaponics, you're able to grow not only a vegetable but also you're able to grow fish, where you have the excretions from the fish kind of production acting as a source of nutrition for the vegetables in terms of manure for them to be able to grow in.
This project is being implemented
for the national anthem. Thank you so much. This will be our prayer, followed by the East African anthem, but we begin with the Kenyan anthem. Thank you so much. We may have our seats. So we have a very busy day on our second day of the conference. Thank you so much for your attendance. Indeed, you are the real stakeholders. Every young person in this room is a real stakeholder as far as youth empowerment is concerned. So from our program, beginning with the morning session, we shall have a discussion around inspiring youth to agribusiness and green jobs. And we have a very powerful panel this morning that I'm sure we'll be getting on board very soon. But before we do that, how many of us were here yesterday, by a show of hands? So I would love one volunteer. You know, young people ni kujiamini. I would want to have one person step up and give us a 1-minute recap of what we went through yesterday and perhaps what they took home yesterday, 1 minute. And it will be the person who actually rises up from their seat, comes to the front and picks up this microphone that I'm holding. That is how you volunteer in this century. Thank you so much. So anybody who feels that, hey, Nadia, enough, step up. I can see one gentleman. Jamani, ladies, we have to step up. Yeah? So as he makes his way to the podium, clap for him. Thank you so much. Well, as he finishes, I would love to have one female volunteer do the very same thing. Because in this century and where we are headed, it will not be a question of competency. It will be a question of those who believe in themselves and those who take up opportunities. Like the Bible says, kunyakua opportunities, and it has to be a female. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Youth Employment Conference 2020, Day 1. Presenting is Mutiso Martin from Rongo University, the current sports director there, student leader, and the incoming Rongo University student chairman. We went through a few things that were important to us as the people who came to this function or conference perhaps. And just to be specific, because I only have 1 minute, I will talk about the 4 things that we were looking at majorly. We're looking at the creative economy, the digital economy, the green economy, and the blue economy. In the morning session, we had the director, YSO manager, Diaconia. We also had the director from KSG and the International Labour Organization, Madam Carol. These people were talking about the basic things that we have to observe as youths in our journey to our future. Of course, today you're where you are, tomorrow you're on a different platform, so that is the future. So the future begins from tomorrow, I understand. And so we were talking about the future of work in the country and in the world at large. We were looking at the place of the young people in the world today and how it will be in the next few years to come. We're also looking at the path that technology will take us, the digitalization of the world and how the world is moving. So we were having important details to look at that particular session in the morning, where we were looking at value chains, business development, services, mentorships, practicability of issues. And one thing that came out clearly was, let's find a voice for the youth. It has been a long while when we are talking about empowerment for the youth, that youths are the kings and queens of tomorrow, the presidents, but we have not actualized it. And the further that we have actualized it, we have already failed. Huh? And so let's find a voice for the youth. Let's talk, let's write, let's create opportunities. And apart from by yourself, be creative, because no job is permanent, okay? Then Director KSG, Nura Mohammed, Professor, thank you for the time he gave us. And he told us that validity of your dreams depends on you. And that was the major thing that I think I found fascinating in the morning session. And so in the afternoon, we came back, and I know hiyo ni wakati ambao watu wanakuwaga wameshiba kidogo. They are trying to get to be in a concentrating mode. And that was the best session that I think I had yesterday, because it touched on my path and on my line of work, because I'm a creative being, and I'm a filmmaker, film director, and stage director, as well as an actor. And so we started out with King Kwaki Menju being our moderator. James Mumo was part of the panel, and then we had Mbuki Mbungu. And these people were only talking about making sure that you evaluate yourself as an artist, have your value. And Mbuki Mbungu also talked about creating an economy where the creatives will have time to build themselves, and then planning yourself in terms of savings and the business outlook of things out here. So I think that was the better part of yesterday. We were talking about making money and how to be financially stable. And so I'll just leave it at that because my 1 minute is gone. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
I know by having Madam Waziri here, we will have